I'm just going to say that I think that's what makes the show happen. And to comment on it is just to say that it's excellent understanding of what's happening today in our society, because I think we're the #1 most downloaded show on the planet today, right now. And the reason is for that is because China, Russia, India are all downloading it also. And they don't get this, I don't think they get the program without pulling it off the internet. And so it's become now a big issue as to the humanity that we do express, both in the Cylon and in the human world. To me, I can't tell you how incredible it was to have to deal with suicide bombers in the time when suicide bombing was like so catastrophic. You know, how could they do this? You know, these people do this to themselves and send their women and their children and kill themselves like that. And these people are fanatics, and we started criticizing them. And all of a sudden, we're using it in Battlestar Galactica as the human beings doing it to the Cylons. And all of a sudden, everybody's going, well, that makes sense, as Ty says so eloquently, and so does Laura Roslin say, what else are you going to do? You're going to die anyway, so what the hell? Might as well give your life for it. And all of a sudden, everybody had to really come to terms with it, just like they did with, you know, abortion, the right to live, the right to die. I mean, after a while, I even had to say, you're not going to kill that child. You don't have the right to make the choice of killing the baby. I know we have the right to choose on Caprica, but guess what? Here, we need every single one of us. So we'd love to give you that right, but we have to take it from you. All of a sudden, everybody started going, holy shit, wait a minute. How do I feel about that, you know? And then the whole thing about God and gods, please. I mean, everybody's going, holy mackerel. On God. And everybody else believes in the gods. And all of a sudden, religion has become huge on this show. And the understanding of religion versus spirituality. I mean, Adam is atheist. You know, you see him, you hear him, he says, I don't believe in any of this. You know, I even take out, every time they say, well, God's, you know, this or that or the other, and I always take it out of that. You know, I take it out myself, because the writers still don't get it. You know, Adama doesn't believe in God, okay? And that, like, makes everybody's brain go, you know, he's my idol, man, I'm Christian. And then all of a sudden the Muslims get involved and go, well, that's smart. You know, and so it all comes down to what incredible thing science fiction is, and what an incredible world it allows us to work under, and how it's now become. And I do say this not because I'm on the show, but because it is a truth. And that truth is that this is the best uses of television that we've ever had in the history of TV.
For each one of you, when you guys signed on, and did you guys go, oh crap, we're going to end up doing conventions? Or are you going to say, Frank, yeah, we're going to be doing conventions?
I think I answered that. I think Michael Hogan and I were the first one in was the guy at the end of the chief, who definitely you all know by first name, and he knows you all by first name. So he from the get-go has become the biggest, understander of this whole concept of saying thank you back to the to really the fans that have made this thing possible. So I think. Between the other guys, I think you both jumped on pretty quickly, didn't you? James, did you jump on?
I actually really did genuinely learn a lot from Aaron, because I was really of Eddie's minds. I was like, oh, you know, I'm an actor, and when they shout cut on the set, my job's finished. And Aaron said to me, buddy, you're so wrong about it. We heard about convention. I didn't even know what a convention was before Battlestar Galactica. And several people went, are you going to do those crazy conventions? I was like, what are they talking about? I don't know. And I went to one, I can't remember when it was, and I didn't feel all that comfortable, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to go and do this again. And it was Aaron who kind of took me aside and was like, it's really important, James, the show hasn't finished when they shout cut. this is about all of the fans, this is about all of the people. It's about showing some inner generosity to all of the people who are putting us in this position. So I actually have to thank Aaron for putting on the straight.
I'd always heard about them. I didn't really know what to expect. But I don't know how many Douglas had done before me, but I know that I went to one other year. It was the first, I think second year was my first one. I did a small one in Vancouver, which was small, yes, GayCon. There's one of the 6 people that were there. Yeah, GayCon was very small. It was an ambitious project. I mean, they had the right intention. Yeah, I think Douglas and I did that together, actually. And they were trying to raise money for charity. It just really didn't work that well. So that wasn't a good taste of what it was supposed to be like. But I think my first one was in London, and I did that with Aaron. It was good. Yeah, it gave me a good taste. It's nothing like this. I mean, we're talking 200 people drinking pints of beer with them every night. How many of you guys are out there? There's about 40,000, something like that. This is nuts. I love Dragon Con, though. I did this 2 years ago with James and Douglas, and I think that was my first taste of like a big con and really enjoying it. Like really, you know, feeling like you're a part of it 100%. We had too good of a time.
I remember.
I kind of thought of that as like as another to my question, as more of a military show. It never really crossed my mind that I was doing a sci-fi show. And the conventions, like Eddie says, I was aware of them, but never thought that I would be involved when this gig first came up. And the only time I really thought I thought much about being involved in a sci-fi show is when I became aware that I was a Cylon. So you were there because how do you research being a Cylon? But as far as I am so glad I came to this convention. It's been an amazing experience. But when I signed on, it was not in my universe. And I'm very serious about this one. Something happened this year that got me really aware of what this community is all about. It's an extraordinary commitment to really just nothing more than really appreciating this genre and this whole understanding of what these mean. There was a jump con that was set up by somebody, and this guy ended up doing what is rightfully known as a real major con job on all of us. And anyway, for all of you that took part in trying to help or try to become, participate in this jump con extravaganza, we were taking advantage of us, all of us. I was on that list as one of the participants, and so was Mary. And then we found out about 3 days before the first one in Boston that this thing was not going to work, and they said we're very apologetic. And then I found out that people were not getting their money back, and that people had spent a lot of money, and that this guy had made a lot of money. And so I'm now working with the Attorney General, and we're going to go after this guy. As much time as it takes to bring this bastard down. He'll learn that he should not mess with Pedro Adama. Nor the people that partake in these kind of conventions. So we will get to the bottom of this, and I'm going to try to get everybody their money back.
Seriously? What do we know about our characters that we can tell you without spoilers that you don't know? Gaius loved his grandma.